Good afternoon, St. Joe's. Today's topic is going to be about an introduction to the Rosary. So this video will have the introduction and history of the Rosary, and then my following video, I will be praying the luminous mysteries of today's Rosary. And so there'll be actually two different videos today. And the reason why we're doing this is that we've had calls to the office of people wanting to pray the Rosary along with somebody in the parish. And so why not with me? And so for the Rosary, perhaps the best description I've ever heard of the Rosary was given to me by a priest from Benedictine Abbey in Oceanside, California. And he basically said that the Rosary is like sitting at the feet of Mary. And Mary is going through a picture book, and she is showing the life of Jesus through mysteries, through pictures, and that is what a Rosary is, the sharing of the life of Jesus with us through the words of Mary. And so I'd like to go through some of the key dates in the history of the Rosary. Prior to the birth of Jesus, the Archangel Gabriel appeared to Mary and said to her, "Hail, full of grace, the Lord is with you." And obviously these are the words that are the basis for the Hail Mary. At two different points in the Gospel, Jesus teaches the Our Father with slightly different words. And then the Apostles' Creed actually comes from the very first 2 centuries in the church. In the 4th century, there was a prayer rope that was used by the Desert Fathers in the repetition of the Jesus prayer. And perhaps on Thursday, I'll talk about the Jesus prayer, an ancient prayer of the church. And by the 7th century, the prayers to the Virgin Mary were far more common throughout the entire area of the church. A rule for anchorites in the mid-12th century England gives directions on how to pray 50 Hail Marys, and they are to be divided into sets of 10 with prostrations and other marks of reverence to God and the Blessed Virgin Mary. In 1214, this is a traditional date that is given for the apparition of Mary to St. Dominic and the giving of the Holy Rosary to St. Dominic, although some people question whether this occurred or not. In the 15th century, Alunas de Roop established the 15 promises of the Rosary and started many Rosary confraternities throughout the area, and this spread throughout Europe. In the 15th century, Blessed Alunas de Roop, in 1569, Pope Pius V established the current form of the original 15 mysteries. And then in 1917, Our Lady of Fatima has asked that the Fatima prayer be added to the Rosary after the Gloria Dies. Her visionaries state that she also asked for the Rosary to be said in order to stop the World War. In 1974, Pope Pius VI issued the apostolic letter Marialis Cultus, which devotes 14 sections to the use of the Rosary within the Roman Catholic Church. And then finally, in 2002, Pope St. John Paul II introduced the Luminous Mysteries as an option for Roman Catholics in the apostolic letter on the Rosary, Rosarium Virginis Maria. So why should we pray the daily Rosary? And we have plenty of time, most of us right now, to do so. So why should we do so? Some reasons. Our Lady actually has 117 different titles. And she's selected her title at Fatima, and she said, "I am the Lady of the Rosary." St. Francis de Sales said the greatest method of praying is to pray the Rosary. St. Thomas Aquinas once preached 40 days straight in Rome, just on the Hail Mary. St. John Vianney, patron of priests, was seldom seen without a rosary in his hand. The Rosary is the Scourge of the Devil was written by Pope Adrian VI. The Rosary is a Treasure of Graces was written by Pope Paul V. And Padre Pio the Stigmatist said the Rosary is the weapon. And Pope Leo XIII wrote 9 encyclicals just on the Rosary. St. John XXIII spoke 38 times about Our Lady and the Rosary, and he prayed 15 decades of the Rosary daily. St. Louis de Montfort wrote, The rosary is the most powerful weapon to touch the heart of Jesus, our Redeemer, who so loves his mother. So what should we think about while we are praying the rosary? While praying the rosary, we can begin by simply focusing on the prayers and their impact on the entire history of salvation of the world and their impact on the salvation of each of us individually. But you can also meditate or think about what the current mystery is that you are praying about, and use your imagination to see the mystery unfold in front of you. Use that imagination to include people and places into that mystery so that it can further inflame your heart to love God and to love your neighbor. At times the mysteries can be felt very personally, like at the time of the death of a loved one. You can pray the crucifixion and remind yourself that Jesus died on the cross for your loved one. And then praying the rosary currently. Currently, Pope Francis is giving us a plenary indulgence when we pray the rosary for people suffering from the coronavirus, medical workers, or people that have died from the coronavirus. And remember, to get the plenary indulgence, we would say prayers for the Pope and then go to confession and communion as soon as it will be possible. Now, as far as the mysteries, which mysteries should we pray each day? And so it is that, as you know, in 2002, St. John Paul II added the luminous mysteries, and so it changed the order of the days a little bit. And so on Mondays and Saturdays, we should be praying the joyful mysteries. On Tuesday and Friday, we should be praying the sorrowful mysteries. And then on Wednesday and Sunday are the glorious mysteries, and then Thursday is the luminous mysteries. And you can find many websites that give you instructions on how to pray the rosary. All that you need to do is to put in how to pray the rosary, or to use the Laudate app, Laudate, the Laudate free app on your phone, and then it will interactively guide you through praying the rosary. And so then the very next video that I'm going to show is on me praying the luminous mysteries. And so then you won't have to watch this entire video if you want to repeatedly watch over me praying the luminous mysteries, because today is Thursday. May Almighty God bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.